Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today on the Best of Both Worlds. We are so excited today. We have Corey Pearson back with us today.
It's great to be back, Linda.
Thank you for coming again. We are going to be doing an art quilt.
Correct.
And this is something that your grandmother designed again?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Very cool. And what's her name?
Alice.
Alice.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Alice, for doing this for Corey. So there are a lot of things that you were telling me about. You're going to show us a lot of techniques today. I'm real excited.
On this one, there is a lot of techniques to be done. Not to be done, that could be done. And we're going to go over a bunch of them today.
Okay, and there's some freehand room.
Yes, there is.
Thank you. So how did you decide what you wanted to do on this?
With the CreativeStudio 6.0, there has a feature that you can take a picture of your quilt top and upload it into the software.
Can you show us how to do that?
I sure can.
I love that.
Well, Linda, first thing, we got a little bit of a problem. Your screen's really low for me.
Sorry.
So I'm just going to bring it right up. Super easy to bring it right up for you. So now that it's at my height, the first thing that I'm going to do is I've taken a picture with my phone, or you can take it with any camera. I just keep my phone with me all the time. So I took my picture, I've moved it onto a flash drive, and I've put it on the desktop of my computer, so just the main screen. So when you have CreativeStudio opened up, you're going to come over here to the top left where it says File. You're going to click on that, and you're going to go down to where it says Import Image. So if you click on Import Image, it's going to bring up a bunch of default pictures that are already uploaded into the software. But since I want to use my own, I'm going to go to the desktop, which is over here on the left-hand side. I'll click on that, and I'll see my picture on my desktop. So I'll click on which one I want, and it brings it onto my screen for me.
Oh, that is so cool.
So once I have the image on my screen, I'm going to show you kind of what we're going to do today. I've played with it and designed on top. So that's kind of what it's going to look like today. We're going to work with point-to-point, circular array, fill, nodes, and of course some freehand.
Okay, and you've even labeled where the freehand's going.
Yep.
Good job. Now, can you play with that picture as far as making the lines darker or thicker?
Yes. If you right-click out here in the white, it'll bring up this thing, and one of the bottom things will be Image Attributes. If you click on that, it has an image opacity, which is how light or how dark the image can get.
I see. So you could see your quilting better, or the design that you want to put on it.
Exactly.
Cool.
You can play with the red filter, the green filter, the blue filter, just different colors.
Wow.
Different colors on top of your quilt.
They've thought of everything.
And then, of course, you can adjust the line thickness to see it more.
Oh. That is a cool feature.
First of all, since I have the quilt stabilized, I'm going to first work on the center medallion, I would call it. And I want to do some lines that explode. So I'm going to first create a boundary. So I'm going to mode over to my first icon, which is boundary, and I will click select. I'm going to make multiple points all the way around this circle so I can get the right angle of it. And clicking.
I need an automatic clicker thing there.
Whenever I get to my end, I'll hit stop. So I have my boundary set, and I'm going to move over to point line, which is our target, and I'll click select. I'm going to come to the center of my circle, hit OK, move over to one of the sides, and hit OK again. I'll hit stop, and we'll be able to see it on the screen. And then I'll walk over to my computer. I'll select that line, and if I right-click, it gives me this fly-down menu of options. And we're going to work with circular array today. I'm going to type in my desired number of copies, and you can put as many as you want. This one I knew worked good with 15. And once you type in that number of copies, you'll click the words number of copies. And when you click on that, it's going to subtract 1, and it's going to change the degrees. And the reason it's subtracting 1 is because it's already taking into account the one that we already have that we set with the machine. So it's going to make 14 additional copies, negative 24 degrees, and that's it just does it. I'm going to place my array center point, and I have my end snap turned on, so you can hear it click on. And when I click that center, it gives me an array of lines. So once I have all my lines arrayed,
That's cool.
I'm going to select all my patterns, move them a little bit more over because they're not all the way in the center that I can tell. Then what I'm going to do is, if we right-click again in the center of all these patterns, at the bottom there's going to be this new feature which is fill. And we're going to do fill inside. And CreativeStudio is going to make a pattern that fits inside that, and it's going to stitch continuously.
Wow, that is amazing. That is so amazing. Now, could you put that center point somewhere else? It wouldn't have to be in the center, would it?
Correct. Yeah,
And then it adjusts all of that. Oh, man. So you could have a sunshine or something and
Exactly.
click. Ah, cool.
So we're going to go ahead and let that stitch out.
So you could put in as many lines as you wanted.
Yes.
It could be really dense or not as dense.
Yeah.
What a neat feature.
And you didn't have to do the fill that we showed. The reason I did that is so the lines would stitch continuously.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Instead of coming out to the end,
It
stopping
kind of
and
put
jumping.
everything inside the circle, though, too.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good idea, I
Yeah.
think.
And our center is finished.
Okay. Now what are you going to do?
We are going to work with circular array again, and we're going to fill in parts of the fabric right here. I don't really know, what would you call that, Linda?
Tie-dye.
Tie-dye? We'll go with tie-dye.
Yeah. Okay.
So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make a boundary around these tie-dye pieces of fabric that I have right here, and I'll do a circular array and we'll add the patterns in. So I'm going to mode over to my boundary. I'll click select, and I'll make my boundary points. I'm just doing a couple extra on this angle to make sure I get the right look. That's one. I'm going to do it around all four. That's two. So I have all my boundaries made around. So I'm going to use repeat patterns just to put one of these patterns. I'm going to use the rainbow fan. That's actually one of yours, Linda.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to put one of these on the screen just so I can play with it. And I did that by clicking on the repeat pattern, and it just pops onto the screen for me. And so when you're clicking on any pattern, you'll see these anchors that are around them. And each of them mean a different thing. The outline purple with the yellow inside, that basically is just moving one side of the pattern, whatever side that you choose. You can double click on, or at the top right there's a kind of like a pizza shaped icon, and that cycles through them. The orange ones, they go from the center, out, or in. So anyway, it tries to keep it symmetric. The blue ones are your end point ones, so you can just move the end points around. The gray, they shift certain aspects of the pattern instead of shifting the whole thing. So you can get it nudged in just the way that you want it. And that's actually the one I'm going to be using on these. Because since it's such an interesting shape, I got to get it in just the right perfect way. So I have it kind of the way that I want. So once I've done that, I'm going to right click, and we're going to use circular array again. And this time, I'm going to do 4 for the number of copies. But if I click number of copies, of course, it's going to turn to 3, because it takes in for account that other one that I've already done. I'll place my array point. I'll just place it from the center right here. And it arrays them into each one of those.
Oh my goodness. Just snapped them right in.
So it fits them kind of into the button. Now, of course, it's not going to be perfect. I'm going to have to fit, because each fabric piece is not going to be perfect. But I'm going to move them in and shift them around just a little bit.
Why is it that I'm continually amazed? I guess I'm easily entertained. I don't know.
It's amazing what these machines can do. The software behind it's incredible. Okay, so I just had to fix that one. And then I don't like my start points showing or my end points showing. So I'm going to actually move those points into the ditch so we can't see them.
Oh.
And we're going to use nodes. And that's one of the new features in CS6. So if we click on one pattern, we can click on F7, which is on our keyboard. Well, if it's going to work for me. There we go. And I can zoom in and just grab that one part and pull it into the ditch.
Oh, how neat.
And then just do it all the way across.
Right to your point.
This one's almost basically done. I'll shift it a little bit more so it kind of stays in. Just do the same for all of these, and it just takes a quick second. Drag those on. And then also, I don't know if you can tell, but there are, let me change the line thickness a little bit so we can see. There are pink and there are blue nodes. The blue ones control the angle of the line, and the pink ones control the line itself.
I see.
So if you want to change the angle just a little bit, you would use the blue. Or if you wanted to move the line just around just a bit, you'd use the pink ones. Back up just a hair. And we're all set and ready to quilt. So I'm going to hit my quilting icon, which is my spool of thread.
And then just watch.
And then watch and take off. And it's just going to end right in that ditch. It's going to have me cut my thread so it's not dragging the bobbin thread. I'll click OK and it's going to move to the next one.
I also think it's really helpful on the screen that it shows you, it turns red when it's quilted.
Right, as it goes.
Yeah,
so you
that
kind of know where you're at.
helps a lot, especially if your thread breaks or something happens.
Right. Click that, move on over to our next one. That thread looks great on there.
Yes, it does. Perfect choice for red. I like the simple design in there because it gives it good relief, and yet it shows motion.
Right.
Well, I'm pretty impressed, Corey. This is really turning out to be a really nice
is,
quilt. Yeah.
So I asked Linda to show us some of her freehand techniques, and I wanted her to do some feathers in this yellow. And so, Linda, show us what you can do.
Okay. All right. I did one, and I like that it still keeps the motion going,
Yes.
but softens it just a little bit. So
Right.
I'd be happy to show that.
Yay.
Okay, I did a stacked feather, so I started right here in the corner, and then I'm going to do a teardrop. I'll come along this way so that I end up over here, and then I can put my feathers along here and just keep coming all the way around. So hang on, everybody, here we go. There's a teardrop, and I am in 14 stitches to the inch in the plus mode. So I have not dropped the belts on this. I'll just fill in that corner. Come clear back over here as many times as I can. And it's that backtracking at the end that is probably the hardest thing. And really, if you need to, just move over here like this and just kind of use your hand to guide you on that part if you need to. It works. And this one will go right into the corner. And then I'll follow it back like that and around like this. I like the fact that you really don't have to drop the belts to do your freehand, unless you're going to do a lot of it. And that last one I just kind of put in there. And you can see that just kind of is going to get this motion going all the way around as I do each one the same. Well, that was super fun again.
Yes.
I loved what you did.
Yeah, it's beautiful how you can just turn a simple point-to-point line into a beautiful array. It's gorgeous, and it can be used on many
And that was
quilts.
both of those techniques.
Yes, yeah. One was just throwing on a pattern, arraying it around, and then one was a simple point-to-point line and arraying it around.
And so I learned a lot. And we combined the freehand.
Yeah,
So
the beautiful feathers. They're gorgeous, Linda.
So we got best of both worlds in there, for sure. And next time, Corey will finish showing us some of the other techniques that he's planned. We saw that quilt, and you showed us how to pull that into. And,
yes, how to import the image and design on top of it.
And it was just a great day, great day. So be sure that you join us next time, and thanks so much for watching. For products, patterns, and retreats, visit lindavtaylor.com.